Chapter 1, The Reunion. I never thought I would see her again. It had been 10 years since we parted ways, and I had moved on with my life. I was a successful journalist, working for a reputed magazine in Mumbai. I had a comfortable apartment, a decent car, and a loyal circle of friends. I was happy, or so I thought. But everything changed when I received an invitation to attend a college reunion in New Delhi. It was from my old batchmate, Rohan, who had organized the event. He had tracked down all our classmates and invited them to join him for a weekend of nostalgia and fun. I was hesitant at first, but Rohan persuaded me to come. He said it would be good to catch up with everyone and relive the old days. I agreed, and booked a flight to New Delhi. I packed my bags, and left for the airport. I was excited, but also nervous. I wondered who I would meet, and how they would react to me. I wondered if she would be there, and if she would remember me. She was Aisha. The love of my life. The one who got away. We met in college, and it was love at first sight. She was beautiful, smart, and kind. She had a smile that could light up a room, and a laugh that could melt your heart. She was everything I ever wanted, and more. We dated for 2 years, and we were happy. We shared our dreams, our fears, our hopes, and our secrets. We supported each other, and made each other laugh. We were inseparable, and everyone knew it. But then, things changed. She got a scholarship to study abroad, in London. She was thrilled, and I was proud of her. But I was also scared. I knew it would be hard to maintain a long-distance relationship, and I didn't want to lose her. I asked her to stay, but she refused. She said it was her dream, and she had to pursue it. She said she loved me, and she would come back for me. She said we would make it work, no matter what. She left, and I was heartbroken. I tried to keep in touch with her, but it was difficult. She was busy with her studies, and I was busy with mine. We talked less and less, and drifted apart. She stopped answering my calls, and replying to my messages. She stopped saying I love you, and started saying I miss you. She stopped being my girlfriend, and started being my friend. And then, she stopped being my friend, and became a stranger. She broke up with me, over a text message. She said she had met someone else, and she was sorry. She said she still cared for me, but she had moved on. She said she hoped I would understand, and wished me well. I didn't understand, and I didn't wish her well. I was angry, and hurt. I felt betrayed, and rejected. I deleted her number, and blocked her on social media. I erased her from my life, and tried to forget her. But I couldn't. I still loved her, and I still missed her. I still thought of her, and I still dreamed of her. She was still a part of me, and I couldn't let her go. And now, I was going to see her again. After 10 years of silence, and distance. After 10 years of pain, and regret. After 10 years of wondering, and hoping. What would she say? What would she do? What would she feel? And more importantly, what would I say? What would I do? What would I feel? I didn't know the answers, and I didn't know what to expect. I boarded the plane, and took my seat. I fastened my seatbelt, and closed my eyes. I was on my way to New Delhi, to face my past. And to face my lost love. Chapter 2, The Arrival. I arrived in New Delhi, and took a cab to the hotel where the reunion was taking place. It was a 5-star hotel, with a grand lobby, a swimming pool, and a spa. Rohan had booked a room for me, and I checked in. I unpacked my bags, and took a shower. I changed into a casual shirt and jeans, and looked at myself in the mirror. I had aged well, I thought. I had a fit body, a sharp face, and a confident smile. I was ready to face my old friends, and my old flame. I took the elevator to the banquet hall, where the reunion was being held. I entered the hall, and saw a large banner that read, "Welcome back, Class of 2013. There were tables and chairs arranged around the hall, with a stage at the front. There was a DJ playing music, and a bar serving drinks. There were about 100 people in the hall, some of whom I recognized, and some of whom I didn't. I walked around the hall, looking for familiar faces. I saw some of my old friends, and greeted them. They were happy to see me, and we hugged and chatted. They asked me about my life, and I told them about my work, my travels, and my hobbies. They told me about their lives, and I listened with interest. They had married, had kids, had jobs, had businesses. They had grown up, and so had I. I also saw some of my old rivals, and ignored them. They were the ones who had bullied me, teased me, or competed with me. They had not changed much, and neither had I. I still disliked them, and they still disliked me. We avoided eye contact, and kept our distance. I looked around the hall, searching for her. I wondered if she was here, and if she would recognize me. I wondered if she was single, or married. I wondered if she was happy, or sad. I wondered if she still thought of me, or if she had forgotten me. I didn't see her, and I felt a pang of disappointment. Maybe she hadn't come, I thought. Maybe she was busy, or sick, or scared. Maybe she didn't care, or didn't dare. I decided to stop looking for her, and enjoy the evening. I mingled with my friends, and made some new ones. I drank some wine, and ate some snacks. I danced to some songs, and sang along to some others. I had fun, and I felt good. But I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was missing. Something, or someone. And then, I saw her. She was standing at the other end of the hall, talking to a group of people. She was wearing a red dress that hugged her curves and showed off her legs. She had long black hair that cascaded over her shoulders and back. She had brown eyes that sparkled with intelligence and warmth. She had a smile that could still light up a room and melt my heart. She was still beautiful, still smart, still kind. She was still Aisha. She was still the love of my life. She was still the one who got away. She looked up and saw me. Our eyes met, and time stopped. We stared at each other, and felt a surge of emotions. We felt surprise, and shock. We felt curiosity, and interest. We felt joy, and pain. We felt love, and hate. We felt everything, and nothing. We didn't know what to say, what to do, what to feel. We didn't know what would happen next. We didn't know if we wanted to talk, or walk away. We didn't know if we wanted to hug, or slap. We didn't know if we wanted to kiss, or kill. We didn't know anything, except one thing. We knew we had to face each other. We knew we had to face our past. We knew we had to face our lost love. Chapter 3, The Conversation. We walked towards each other, slowly and cautiously. We felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. We didn't know what to expect, or how to react. We reached the middle of the hall, and stopped. We were face to face, after 10 years of separation. We were close enough to touch, but far enough to avoid. We looked into each other's eyes, and searched for a sign. A sign of recognition, or rejection. A sign of affection, or anger. A sign of anything, or nothing. We opened our mouths and spoke. Hi. Hi. We said the same word, at the same time. We smiled, awkwardly and nervously. We broke the ice, but not the tension. We waited for the other to say something more, something meaningful. Something that would break the silence, or the spell. But neither of us did. We just stood there, and said nothing. We felt the pressure, and the awkwardness. We felt the eyes, and the whispers. We felt the curiosity, and the judgment. We felt the presence, and the absence. We felt the past, and the present. We felt the future, and the end. We felt too much, and too little. We needed a distraction, and a direction. We needed a reason, and a purpose. We needed a question, and an answer. We needed a conversation, and a closure. And then, we got one. Hey, you two. Long time, no see. It was Rohan. He had seen us, and approached us. He had a smile on his face, and a drink in his hand. He had a friendly tone, and a curious look. He had a question, and a comment. He had a conversation, and a closure. He gave us what we needed, and what we didn't. He broke the silence, and the spell. He spoke, and we listened. Wow, I can't believe it's you guys. Aisha and Arjun. The golden couple of our college. The Romeo and Juliet of our batch. The lovebirds of our class. The legends of our campus. How are you? How have you been? What have you been up to? It's so good to see you. It's been so long. Too long. He said it all, in one breath. He said it all, with enthusiasm. He said it all, with sincerity. He said it all, with ignorance. He didn't know, and he didn't notice. He didn't know, and he didn't care. He didn't know, and he didn't matter. He didn't know, that we had broken up. He didn't know, that we had moved on. He didn't know, that we had changed. He didn't know, that we had hurt. He didn't know, that we had loved. He didn't know, that we had lost. He didn't know anything. But we did. We knew everything. We knew that he was trying to be nice. We knew that he was trying to be funny. We knew that he was trying to be friendly. We knew that he was trying to be helpful. We knew that he was trying to be polite. We knew that he was trying to be Rohan. We knew that he was being Rohan. And we appreciated it. We appreciated his effort and his intention. We appreciated his gesture and his intervention. We appreciated his presence and his attention. We appreciated his friendship and his connection. We appreciated him and his conversation. We appreciated him and his closure. He gave us a way out and a way in. He gave us a chance to escape and a chance to engage. He gave us a choice to avoid and a choice to confront. He gave us a reason to leave and a reason to stay. He gave us a question to answer and an answer to question. He gave us a conversation and a closure. He gave us what we needed and what we wanted. He gave us a chance and a challenge. He gave us a conversation and a closure. And we took it. We took his hand and shook it. We took his smile and returned it. We took his words and replied to them. We took his question and answered it. We took his comment and ignored it. We took his conversation and continued it. We took his closure and opened it. We opened our mouths and spoke. Hi, Rohan. It's good to see you too. We're fine, thank you. How are you? We said it all, in one voice. We said it all, with politeness. We said it all, with diplomacy. We said it all, with hypocrisy. We said it all, and nothing more. We said nothing, and everything. We said nothing, about us. We said everything, about him. We asked him about his life, and he told us. He told us about his work, his wife, his kids, his hobbies. He told us about his achievements, his challenges, his goals, his dreams. He told us about his happiness, his sadness, his hopes, his fears. He told us about himself, and his conversation. He told us everything, and nothing. He told us everything, about him. He told us nothing, about us. He didn't ask us about our lives, and we didn't tell him. We didn't tell him about our work, our partners, our friends, our interests. We didn't tell him about our successes, our failures, our plans, our regrets. We didn't tell him about our joy, our pain, our love, our hate. We didn't tell him about ourselves, and our conversation. We didn't tell him anything, and everything. We didn't tell him anything, about us. We didn't tell him everything, about him. We didn't tell him, that we had broken up. We didn't tell him, that we had moved on. We didn't tell him, that we had changed. We didn't tell him, that we had hurt. We didn't tell him, that we had loved. We didn't tell him, that we had lost. We didn't tell him anything. But we wanted to. We wanted to tell him everything. We wanted to tell him the truth. We wanted to tell him our story. We wanted to tell him our feelings. We wanted to tell him our thoughts. We wanted to tell him our conversation. We wanted to tell him everything. But we couldn't. We couldn't tell him anything. We couldn't tell him the truth. We couldn't tell him our story. We couldn't tell him our feelings. We couldn't tell him our thoughts. We couldn't tell him our conversation. We couldn't tell him anything. Because we didn't know. We didn't know the truth. We didn't know our story. We didn't know our feelings. We didn't know our thoughts. We didn't know our conversation. We didn't know anything. We didn't know what to say. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to feel. We didn't know anything. Except one thing. We knew that we had to talk. We knew that we had to talk to each other. We knew that we had to talk about us. We knew that we had to talk about our past. We knew that we had to talk about our present. We knew that we had to talk about our future. We knew that we had to talk about our love. We knew that we had to talk about our loss. We knew that we had to talk. We knew that we had to have a conversation. We knew that we had to have a closure. And we knew that we had to have it now. We looked at each other and nodded. We looked at Rohan and smiled. We looked at the hall and excused ourselves. We looked at the door and walked towards it. We looked at the outside and stepped into it. We left the hall and the reunion. We left the crowd and the noise. We left the music and the lights. We left the fun and the games. We left the friends and the foes. We left the memories and the moments. We left everything and nothing. We left everything behind. We left nothing ahead. We left together. We left to talk. We left to have a conversation. We left to have a closure.